Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Happy Friday. Hope you all are doing well. Oh, you guys hear me? To check. I'm just gonna assume the answer is yes. But hi. How is everyone? We are back for a normal, full-length, 2-hour Evie Lupine live stream. We have Miss Bandita, who is currently on her blanket throne that I dare not move or change in any way. Hopefully you guys can see her a little bit on there, but hopefully you all are doing well. I don't know. So if you're in the chat, there is apparently a community leaderboard for experience. This is like a Twitch thing. I don't know what this is, but apparently you can earn community experience points for participating actively in the chat. And if you buy a super chat, it gives you more experience points. What does this do? I don't know, but it does seem to highlight the top 3 people in the chat. I don't know, but also it seems like there's a bunch of people who are all simultaneously ¡1, so I don't know what's going on, but hopefully it's fun and interesting, and it keeps you all engaged. You're entertained and engaged. Hopefully. All right, y'all. Hope you all are doing good. So it is Friday night. We are here to do a BDSM Q&A. It is a balmy 82 degrees outside. 82 degrees. The perfect weather, in my humble opinion, is between 75 and 83 to 85 degrees. Somewhere in that bracket. Perfect weather. My favorite weather. So, it's warm. Summer is happening. It is post-Memorial Day weekend, which means the parks are open, the pools are open, and you know what that means? People are going to start trying to do BDSM in public. That's part of it. So I thought today, as always, the title of our live stream is a suggestion for some things that we could talk about. We could talk about public play, doing BDSM in public, kinks you can do outside, which I have long been intending to make a video about. I have long intended to make a video talking about kinks you can do outside for camping trips or other various purposes. What was the other thing I put? What else did I put in the title? It was like public kinks and outdoor play. Oh, and group play, because those also sometimes go together. So I thought we could talk about that. But really, this is an interactive Q&A where you all get to ask questions and I answer them. And we usually have contributions from our community here where they also contribute their thoughts and answers. This is an 18 plus only live stream. Big one. So if you are not at least 18, please do not be here. There's also rules and an FAQ down below that you should check out if you've not already. They're really simple. They're basically just be respectful, listen to me, listen to the mods, and I don't give medical advice. So if you're like, is my tibia broken? I'm going to be like, I don't know. Or you're going to ask me, can I wear a butt plug into an MRI? I'm going to be like, I don't know. You should talk to a doctor about that. Seems like probably not, though. So that is that on that. Otherwise, because this is a Q&A, you guys get to ask whatever questions you want, and I answer them. Just be respectful. I usually go in the order that questions come in, so the best way to make sure your question gets answered is to either use a super chat, which you can either do directly through YouTube, or you can use the link to Streamlabs and do it that way. And it will highlight your question and show it on screen, or possibly even read it, depending on how much you donate. And then I will answer your question right away. Otherwise, we go roughly in order. Sometimes we go down little thought pathways, and I follow questions that are kind of on that same thought pathway, but that's roughly what we're doing here, folks. And that is more or less what y'all need to know. Oh, no. When I'm saying it's like a Twitch thing, I don't mean that we're like on Twitch. I'm saying that like this is an idea that YouTube stole from Twitch and is now applying to YouTube. That's what I think is going on, personally. Hugs from Brazil. Thank you. I have very fond memories. I had one of my very good friends in middle school was Brazilian, and like her family immigrated to America from Brazil like middle of 6th grade. That was a rough transition. And I fondly remember her bringing her grandmother's cheesy bread to lunch sometimes. And now they sell it in stores. You can buy frozen Brazilian cheesy bread in stores. I actually never learned what the name was because she just called it cheesy bread. But that was actually, I also have a memory of teaching her the word toucan because she didn't know what the... She was like trying to describe what a toucan was. Isn't language so funny when you're like, what the fuck? What is the word? It's mostly a big bill, blackbird, very colorful. Like, it's like Zaboomafoo. Anyways. Yeah. Yeah, there's like, the Brazil, it's not in like the top like 10 of, maybe it actually might be. It's not in the top 5 of countries that watch my channel, but it's more than you would think. It's a lot. It's up there. It ranks up there. It punches above its weight, yes. Mm-hmm. I mean, anytime a grandmother makes something, it's just better implicitly because of that than it otherwise would be. All right, so I think I went through all of the typical preamble. Am I missing anything? Any other updates? I don't think so. I think that's it. I think that's all. Sorry, I just saw a question that made me go, whoa, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Not gonna lie, the consistent reinforcement schedule of Evie's uploads is already powerful. Now participating in chat has been gamified, going to make the live streams a stronger reinforcer. I mean, that's definitely part of it, right? Because YouTube wants to serve people more ads. And even though I don't monetize my live streams, at least not that way, they're like, how can we get more people to watch the streams for longer, which is good for viewers and good for YouTube. But I don't actually see a way to toggle it on and off, so it's here, I guess. We're just doing it. Oh, suddenly. Did that suddenly get yellower? What the frick happened? Okay. I thought I fixed my camera lens and it's still having intermittent issues, so I might need a deeper cleaning. But, you know, hopefully I don't know why I have it on auto white balance, but maybe I need actually. It's that dang golden hour light. That's probably what it is. Oh, yeah, there we go. It was cloudy yesterday, and I forgot that sunshine exists. Oh, that's so much better. Perfect. It was just the light. Okay, I thought it was my camera fucking up. It was me. Oh, workman blames his tools. Okay. Oh, yeah, and then on the Reddit post thing, I actually would love to know if there's a better solution for people sharing like longer thoughts and updates and longer questions other than just having to put it in multiple different chats. But you can definitely try it on a Reddit post. It might get auto mod removed if you do a link. So if you want to like write it down, like copy and paste the Reddit link and then put a couple of spaces in there and like remove the www dot or something, that might be the best way to share. And hopefully it maybe won't be auto flagged, but I don't know. Otherwise, that would be my guess. It's unfortunately difficult to get the ability to grab links from people. I need to know how to increase my power level. Apparently, yes. Apparently, super chats and just regular chatting and contributing messages. Oh, thank you so much. So Sean has donated 5. Oh no, wait. Sean is now a member for 5 months, and then it was. Mayonaka Midnighter is also now part of the Lupineers because they have both become members. Thank you so much. Thank you. I don't know if memberships contribute to the leaderboard. That remains unclear. It is a developing story. We'll update you as updates are available. No, back to Evie with the weather. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so I think a bunch of people are tied for first place. Aristotle and Plato roleplay? I mean, that sounds like an epic rap battle of history, which, is that a form of BDSM? Is an epic rap battle of history, like, could you do that in a way that becomes a BDSM scene? Probably. Ooh, 98 degrees. That is warm. Who's got good munchies today? I had nachos right before the stream. Does that count? I feel like those are pretty good. I feel like I got the cheese melted to like exactly the right amount, which with vegan cheese is an ask. How much is 106 degrees in Celsius? I'm gonna guess 44. My brain says 42 or 47. Oh, I was right the first time. 42 degrees Celsius is 107. Yeah, there we go. See, converting, people who bitch about converting Fahrenheit to Celsius and be like, freedom units are so confusing. Celsius is so confusing. It's easy. Just vibe it out. It works every time. You watch enough, you just watch enough weather reports from different parts of the world and you get a sense of, what's hot and what's cold, and you just ballpark it from there. A BDSM-oriented weather channel, not a terrible idea. I'm honestly kind of surprised that there's not more BDSM roleplay stuff that involves newscasters or role-playing, like the idea of being as an exhibitionist thing, oh, you're a newscaster, and then you have to I don't know, hide the fact you're wearing a vibrating butt plug while you're doing the weather report, something like that, right? It seems outlandish, but I could definitely see a roleplay scenario. Maybe I'm kind of thinking of, what's the Dropout TV show? They have one where it's the newscasters have to say exactly what's on a teleprompter without laughing, or they gain points, then whoever has the most number of points at the end of a game loses. Imagine that, but if you did it like Kinky, where it's whoever has the biggest reaction to being spanked or the insertable vibrator or whatever, they get points and then they lose. Oh, thanks, Sean. I appreciate it. Thank you for the memberships. Watching weather reports is pretty hot. That's part of it too, is there's definitely people whose first crush is the weather lady on the local news channel. It's you don't have a babysitter, it's gonna be the babysitter or the weather lady or your second grade teacher, I guess. It's not necessarily vegan cheese itself. I'm doing it in an air fryer, which is already kind of testy. But yeah, vegan cheese, I think it's getting to the melting point. You can overdo it and dry it out and it's still okay, but if you get it half melty, it doesn't hit the same way. You mean Impractical Jokers, Evie? Is that the... No, I don't think it's called that. It's on a it's on a website. It's called Dropout TV, and then they have a TV show type format that's about... I don't know what Impractical Jokers is, so I don't think it's that. But maybe they took it from that. I don't know. Rebel cheese is really good. I usually get the FetLife stuff because it's usually on sale at Fred Meyer. But that actually works really well. I actually think vegan cheese right now is pretty good for cooking applications. It's just when you're making nachos, at least to me, there's a range of it, what prime. It's with toast. There's a prime amount of toasting that's the right amount, and you can go over, you can go under, and it's still edible and it's still good. But it's when you make a pancake exactly perfectly, or you make a toast slice that's the exact right amount of toastedness, it just hits different. You just whatever that is to you. It's say with coffee, you mix it in the exact right amount of milk or creamer, or making pancakes that are exactly the right amount of brown or golden. It's like that. It's like that, you know? It just hits different. I'd only seen Weather Girl Kinks on DeviantArt. Oh, I should have thought about DeviantArt. Oh, now I'm thinking about the Wonderbread guy. Because wasn't there... I recently learned that apparently there was a guy on DeviantArt. He used to commission people, I think covertly without telling them it was a fetish, and we can talk about the ethics of that, where he just wanted characters drawn, shopping for Wonderbread specifically. And just imagine your core erotic fantasy is either a Wonderbread commercial or watching one of your parents shopping in the bread aisle. And this to me just that's not genetic, okay? When people say that kinks are all genetic, fetishes are all genetic, you're telling me genetics programmed for Wonderbread? Where just show me the Wonderbread gene. Where is that on the human genome? It's not in there. Companies do not have that technology yet. Trust me on that one. And Lexi, when I finish this Wonderbread rant, I will get to your super chat. Thank you. But yes, there was the Wonderbread guy, and this is why I don't think kinks are genetic. That's very much you're a little kid, and your genital stimulation starts happening, sometimes from a young age, and then you connect that with whatever visual stimuli you're experiencing alongside that arousal, and then you accidentally intermittently reinforce it, and then suddenly you have a Wonderbread fetish, and that happens. It's just human brains are weird, is what's going on there. The Wonderbread guy is a rabbit hole and a half. Oh wait, is it? Is there more than just that? He was also into wait, what? Deforestation to make the Wonderbread as part of his kink. Okay, this is gonna sound really weird, but I understand the logic. Because okay, I'm not an expert about this, but I have a lot of experiences with partners who have fetishes of different stripes, all right? And when you're having an erotic fantasy experience, I know most people here don't know what it's like to have an erotic fantasy, so I'm explaining it to all of you. But you need typically something that makes it more titillating, right? That's something that ups the ante of the thing that you're thinking about. Right. And so maybe for him, the thing that ups the ante is the how intensive the production of the Wonderbread is. Oh yeah, they have to put so much energy in there, destroying all this land just to make this Wonderbread. That's the thing that for some reason is the spark that gets him off. It's that I don't know. I can kind of see it because that it's sort of intensity modification I think is really common for people with fetishes, even if it seems totally non sequitur and strange. I understand. I can see the connection. He kind of explained it as liking powerful and mean women. Was he into women forcing people to eat Wonderbread? Was that part of it? I'm gonna have to find it. We should watch that. We should watch that deep dive for a Patreon live stream. That'd be really fun, actually. Don't give companies ideas. There's already people trying to figure out how to put chips in brains, so I don't think I'm really giving anybody any new ideas at this point. I think they're already evil enough on their own. They don't need to access me to be able to do that. I once knew a guy who had names of toothpaste, phone sex fetish. Oh my god. I sort of love that though. Listen, I am, as long as you're not hurting anybody in real life, you're not causing actual crimes to occur. If you're okay, listen, if the thing that you get off to is the names of different toothpaste brands, why? Okay, most people who have that level of fetish probably wish they didn't have it. Because it's, how many people they've probably gone on first, second, third dates with, and they try to have the toothpaste conversation with them, and they go into the bathroom and look at what kind of toothpaste they have in the bathroom, before they get ready to have sex for the first time, and then they try to bring up, oh, hey, there's this thing that I'm into, could you do this for me, blah, blah, blah. That's really hard. And most people are going to be what the fuck? And they're not going to be accepting at all. So people who have that kind of level of fetish, really all people who have kinks and fetishes of any kind, as long as they're not hurting other people and aren't illegal or promoting crimes or whatever, yada, 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 necessary disclaimers because this is the internet, I think that's just fine, right? And it's, maybe there are some people who are I like how being into toothpaste brands makes my brain work differently, but I don't know. I haven't had those conversations with people for the most part. Usually the people I've interacted with, they have fairly mainstream fetishes that are there's a community around it, or there's lots of resources for it, and yeah, it's awkward to talk to a partner about, but it's not completely out of left field. The one I always think of is one I saw on Reddit that was a guy that was really into bartering, which I feel is the example that I go back to a lot when I talk about this stuff. Is there was a guy who said he specifically got off to medieval peasant bartering, trading at a Sunday market situation, and I haggling. I just love that. I'm just wow, that is so unique. That is, our brains are so fascinating, and I could see that actually being a role play that would be fulfilling. Again, it's all as an aspec person, sort of all human sexuality is kind of weird to a certain extent. And if somebody tells me they're into verbal humiliation or being called a good girl, that's not that different to me compared to I like like haggling over the price of fish. Like, okay, sure. It all makes the same amount of sense to me. I'm into Japanese toothpaste personally. You think that would be a thing? They'd be, so I don't, not to speculate. This is a sort of idle curiosity at this point. I do wonder if it's like, if it's a novel brand, does that work, or does that make it worse? It was wild. The person who told me about the toothpaste fetish was a phone sex operator, and this guy called her up to read toothpaste names off as seductively as possible. That does kind of sound the sort of thing somebody would do to like take the piss, but also it's not like it's cheap to pay a phone sex operator either. So, you know, maybe it was real. I don't think, it's not like it was just a joke. I love to discover different things people are into, like balloons and women buying Wonderbread. The balloon thing actually is like, I mean, it's sort of, my understanding is it's some, like in the range of common fetishes, right? Like, let's say feet's number one. I don't know if it actually is, but it's probably in the top 3. And like way down at the bottom is somebody who has a fetish for like acute angles in triangles. All right. Just like something that like 2 people have it at any given time in the world. It's like a generational curse that just like curses one person every generation. Okay. Somewhere in between that, like probably top middle, is balloons. Because balloons are like a texture thing. It's a sound thing. There's the inflation aspect of it, which is sort of like inherently erotic for like multiple, like there's so many different like size and inflation things are really common. So balloons is sort of in sort of a category of types of fetish that have a lot of different things in them, like the people that are into like inflatable latex suits, and I guess there are people that do, I don't know, this is like is this a vor thing? I feel like I remember seeing this on Tumblr. Like the people that are into, they do like do like enema retentions to do like body inflation, or they do, maybe they don't do air, do they? I think it's just what air would be dangerous. I think it's just probably water. Don't insert things into your body without doing research first of any kind. But like that's a common thing that people are into. And yeah, the smell probably too, because balloons have a smell. Yeah, I mean, it's a sensory thing. Makes sense. See, I can normalize any fetish. It's so easy. It's so easy. Like, he knew he was inspired by that aesthetic. I didn't hide that, but I imagine it would be different than, I want to live like 1958, and I think you would be just as swell if you would join me. That's cute. Did multi-product brands like Arm & Hammer count? They make baking soda and toothpaste. I mean, isn't that most companies now? I feel like that would count. There's the scare when it pops. Oh, I wonder if that's part of it too, the tension of like, is the balloon, if I'm squeezing the balloon, is it going to pop now? Oh, that probably is part of it too for some people. Interesting. Motivations are fascinating. Clowns? Oh yeah, overlapping with like a clown kink? Yeah. What about a fetish for having to do homework as a little after going to somewhere educational? Aquarium, to use my earlier example. Oh, sure, yeah. Anything, yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, I can't, I think that I understand it more as like a behavioral thing. Like, it's not a sensory thing. It's not like a transformation thing. It's going back to a very specific point in time and like having an emotional experience that like adults don't really have. We don't, unless you're doing grad school or something. Like, most adults are not like doing routine amounts of homework on a regular basis. Enema retention doesn't sound exactly safe either. I mean, it eventually comes out. It's not permanent retention, obviously. But the idea is you hold it in and you savor the feeling of it, I think. Because some people are into that, Some people like that feeling. I feel the exact opposite. I do not like enemas. Not my kink at all. Sorry. But some people, if they watch the movie Sybil, I guess, and then they have feelings. I don't know. That would be a weird movie to get a kink from, but it's happening. It's happened before. All right, I'm going to get to the super chat from Lexi now, and then we'll get into some more questions. Okay. Oh, said something went wrong. Oh, dear. What went wrong? What's YouTube doing? What's going on with... Oh, we're 290,000 subscribers. Ooh, exciting. Okay, did that fix it? If I refresh this page, will that bork everything up? I'm not feeling confident about the not borking things up portion of this. So I can see super chats. Oh, no, okay. Okay, we did it. We're good. We're good. All right, I now can see the super chats that people have sent, and more than just what's on my OBS screen. This Sunday is the 3rd anniversary of Aaron and I starting our 24/7 dynamic, and I wanted to celebrate by showing appreciation for all you do. Our dynamic wouldn't still be standing without you in the community. Oh, you're so welcome, Lexi, and congratulations, 3 years is such a big milestone, and I know that things have changed along the way, but I think that's mostly been for the better, and thank you so much for sharing with us. You are always a highlight in our live streams, and I appreciate you being here and part of our community. And I don't know if Aaron's around, but you can also tell them thank you. No, it was just my end. Like, YouTube was, I don't know what was going on. It just was like, we're not gonna had like the, you guys, if you're not a YouTuber, you would not have seen this, but when YouTube has an error on the back end, it shows you a little monkey wearing a hat and holding a wrench. It's like a purple monkey, like a purple cartoon monkey with a red hat. It holds a wrench and it says, uh-oh, something went wrong. And it's like, it could mean anything. So it was very non-specific, but I figured it out. All right. More questions. Let's go. Not kink related, but I'm excited to go mermaiding at the pool. Ooh, are you gonna you have like a little mermaid, like the mermaid tail thing? I'm actually really bad at that. Like, I can't actually do the, at least when I was a kid, when I did swimming lessons, I did not have the kinesthetic awareness to do the, mermaid leg thingy. I think maybe my hamstrings were too tight. I think that was maybe the limiting factor there. But I see really cool gothic mermaid tails on Instagram sometimes, and they're dope. So I hope you enjoy that. It sounds very fun. Sounds like a good middle activity for a covert pool, especially if you have a private pool or a community pool that no one else is at or whatever. Just go mermaiding with your friends. I mean, people probably do that for Instagram content and stuff too. Are you still in the bed, honey? I can't tell. Are you still there? Okay. Bandita, I was shocked. Wanted an orange yesterday. I got a package of cuties, which I don't normally buy. I get them very rarely at the store, but I was just in the mood for them for whatever reason. I bought this big package of cuties, and so last night I came home from the gym. I go to the gym really late at night. So usually when I get home, I have a light snack before I go to bed. So I'll have a single piece of toast or a piece of fruit or something. And so I had this cutie orange. I don't think she's ever seen one before, but I was peeling it and she was doing her little meerkat thing where she's like, she really wanted this orange. And I'm like, why do you want an orange? She does not eat any kind of fruit. I've showed her blueberries, watermelon, all different dog safe fruits, and she's never actually eaten any of them. I think except for a very tiny piece of pear, by accident. So I gave her a little tiny segment of this cutie, and she licked it all over, for a very long time. And I handed it to her to try to have her take it to eat it, and then she just dropped it on the floor and then looked at me what do you want me to do with this, lady? And I think she didn't realize that the good stuff was on the inside. She needed to bite it, so I ended up breaking it in half and then holding it for her, and then she ate it. And she had half of a cutie segment. And I was so proud. And I was like, why would dogs don't need vitamin C. They make their own vitamin C. So why does she want the orange? She watches me eat food all the time. She doesn't normally beg. So I thought that was really interesting. I was like, maybe it just smells a lot. She also wanted to lick the orange peel. I don't know. This is very funny. I think she's had one of her this is not her current dog diet. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. One of her dog food flavors that was in her dog food, it was the same brand and same type of food, but they had a couple different flavors and proteins. One of them I used to give her was a fish and orange flavor. So maybe it really did have orange in it, and she liked the orange flavor from that. I don't know. Fascinating. Anyways, my dogs like oranges. And I thought it was funny because it was a cutie orange, and she's a little cutie. You cannot take your dog into any old store. You can take your dog into hardware stores usually, like a Home Depot or pet stores or feed stores, that kind of thing, an Ace Hardware, a Lowe's, that kind of thing. If there's anything with food, it's usually a health code violation. Mm-hmm. It's a double underground music experience. Love it. Anyway, that's my dog story. Just got to give everyone the dog updates. I know why you people are watching. It's not to hear me talk about BDSM. It's to hear about my dog. Who, by the way, wish her all luck. Next Tuesday, we're having a dental cleaning. Okay, so we want to send good thoughts and energy into the world for Miss Bandita. It's going to be next Tuesday. I asked about the Reddit post. I can try posting the link or share the post title when you're ready. Oh, yeah. If you want to try, like I said, if you want to post the link, but, like, don't post it as a link, if that makes sense. Like, put some spaces in there, like, between, like, the .com and whatever, and I'll see if it flags it or not. I'll look for it. But otherwise, if you want to tell me the subreddit it's on and, like, the post name, I can search for it on Google and maybe try to find it that way. Yeah, service dogs are different, obviously, you know, because they're considered medical equipment, but most people don't have service animals. I'm going to skip ahead to answer this question. Do you have any suggestions about brushing a cat's teeth? Oh boy, do I. My dog, my precious little baby Bean, because she had a lot of puppies, her teeth got the calcium zapped out of them. Same thing happens with humans, by the way. One of the many weird things that happens with human pregnancy is if you don't keep up your calcium intake, your body steals it from your bones. Pregnancy is technically a form of parasitism. I don't know. So anyways, she had weaker teeth and bad enamel because previous to me having her, she was a breeding dog and was not fully treated like a pet and didn't have the same level of medical care as in other places, as in living with me. And so she had a lot of issues. And so I have looked high and low, up and down for the best things you can give a pet for dental care. She does not like toothbrushes. She will not abide a toothbrush, but I will show you all. You're so sweet and so sleepy, little girl. Don't worry, I'm not using these on you. Oh my gosh, she's so sleepy today. So I really like these. Oh, that's not gonna focus, is it? Oh, is it too bright? I'll put the name in the chat because you guys definitely can't read this. But this is it's called the brand. I've never seen that before. It's called Nudie Oral Dental Wipes Deep Cleaning. And these are dental wipes, and they have chlorhexidine gluconate. It's the active ingredient is 0.1% chlorhexidine gluconate, I think is what it is. And this I just bought at like a local pet store, and this helps prevent tartar and plaque. It helps prevent tooth decay, and it works really well. You have to be so careful because almost all of the commonly advertised dental supplements are only for fresh breath. They only make the breath smell better. They actually don't do a lot for tartar and plaque buildup. But I think that this helps. There's also different, a lot of people have success with like different like seaweed additives and different like dry powder additives you can put on top of food. I've never found those to be helpful. I know for other people it works really well for their pets. So like different like powdered sea kelp supplements can work as well. And then my favorite thing that I think actually really concretely makes a difference even in very like problematic teeth is something called IO Vet Rinse. And I can put a link to this in the chat because I own the live stream and it's mine. But it's called IO Vet Oral, and it works for both dogs and cats. And it's a water additive that you put in the bottom of their water dish before you put water in it. And it's a iodine like gum support anti-periodontal disease thing. And they actually use the same technology for mouthwash for humans too, and it works really, really well. And it's a molecular iodine that is fantastic at like cleaning stuff essentially. And this I've actually found to be the only water additive that legitimately helps. So just in case you were like, I need help with that, there you go. Did I put it in the chat? Where did it go? I'm not seeing it. Wait. Where did the chat go? Crap. Okay. Let me get the pop-out chat again. 1 second. There we go. Found it. All right. Here's a link. Okay. It's, you can buy it. I think you can get it on Amazon. You can get it just directly from their website. Those are the things I found actually work really well. But I know cats are stubborn creatures, and they only want to do what they want to do. So you might have a lot of difficulty actually physically cleaning their teeth, in which case the water supplement would probably be the best. But I would also talk to your vet about other things. But, as somebody who has a pet with, troubled teeth stuff, I am more than happy to share what I find has worked for me. And as always, talk to your vet about what supplements you're giving your pets. Make sure they're okay. I don't know if these are... This is for dogs. This is labeled for dogs. I'm assuming they make ones for cats that maybe are like a different size. I don't know why a cat would not be able to use this. Unsure. Anyway, those are my cat and dog dental tips. Yeah. No, yeah. Oh, no, don't worry. Yeah, you're not lost. It's just YouTube being YouTube. Alrighty. Wow, what interesting things we explore here on the live stream. What interesting things we do. Oh my god, for a second I thought I had 11 people watching me, and I was like, what the fuck happened? No, apparently it tracks new members, so there we go. Welcome to the new members. Apparently there's 11. Alrighty. Oh, because I refreshed the live stream, I missed questions that were already in the chat. Okay, so if you asked questions and it was early on, I probably missed it, so feel free to re-ask it. I'm giving you all permission to re-ask a question if I missed it. Oh yeah, let's look for that link. No, it erased the link. I actually don't. I can see that you wanted to put in a link and it says here you go, but it doesn't actually say anything about the link. So you're just gonna have to, Psycho Salad, you're gonna have to just give me the title and the name of the post, like what subreddit it's on, and then the title. No worries about falling asleep. It is primo nap weather. That's so sad. The way breeders treat their animals is awful. It should be illegal. IMO. There's plenty of rescue animals and non-spayed pets having babies anyway. I think that's very true. I mean, I'm very grateful to have my dog. I think she has a great temperament. I could see why somebody would want to have her have babies, because I'm sure that they were all very sweet. But the fact that she did not get any, like, adequate dental care, and, that just is such a shame, because she didn't do anything wrong. She deserved dental care. Womp womp. So sad. Who made all the new art? Oh, that should be in the description box for the live stream. Can I see that right now while I'm streaming? Can I see? Oh, I can now implement break things. Oh, I can just edit. That should be. Oh, yes. Okay. If you go to the very bottom of the description box for the live stream, it gives you everyone who made everything. So they're all from VGen. It's the music is from Bleep Music. The icons and the pop-ups are from Koife, and then the intro outro screens are from Makini Art, I think. Makini Art. Oh, they're all on VGen, so their names and their ats are all on there, if they have YouTube channels, anyways. But yeah, no. I have not finished setting everything up yet, but we're working on it. It's a progress. A question for Evie Lupine from Psycho. Oh, yeah, the same username on Reddit. Oh, that makes it easy. Okay, let me find that. Reddit, Psycho. I mean, I'm shocked the name Psycho Salad wasn't already taken. Oh, you read it? Did not like that. How can I look by username? Do I have the username right? Do I have the username right? Let's see, people. I'm not seeing a Psycho Salad 665 on Reddit. I'm seeing a bunch of there's like 3 other people named Psycho Salad. There's a Psycho Salad 666, but they don't have any posts. Let me try to find it. Psycho salad. Yeah, when I tried to search for that on Google, it just said there's no results for this, which I don't think I've seen like a couple of times. Yeah. And then when I look it up on Google, it just gives me, I think, links to YouTube videos, and that's it. So I don't know. I'm sorry. You probably can just put user / and then your Reddit username. That shouldn't be blocked. Salad from hell? I mean, yeah. Oh, okay. Totally different username. Okay. That I was looking for the wrong thing. Can I copy that? Let me see. Yes. YouTube is improving their live stream features. I love it. Thank you, YouTube. Sometimes you do things right. Sometimes you do things wrong. Okay. Here we go, people. Oh no. I gotta look. And now it's just showing me stuff from God of War. So, okay, let's look for a little bit. There we go. There we go. Ah, okay, this is a bigger one. Oh, goodness. Okay. All right. Are you guys ready to buckle up? Are you okay? So I want to make sure, because this is really long. Are you okay with me reading all this on stream as you've written it? Do we want to get into this? Because I'm happy to talk about this, but because it's so long, I want to make sure that it's all good before we get into that. First thing I spent my allowance on today was a Protect the Dolls t-shirt. Oh, like Pedro Pascal. Because I'm an ally, trans people deserve the same rights as us cis people. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're such a good ally to trans people, Lexi. Goodness. I should get one of those. Except for they only come in white, I think, and I don't wear white. It just doesn't look good on me. How long is long? Like a couple paragraphs. Okay, you can read it all as I read. Okay, cool. All right, let's get into this. It's gonna be a long one. It'd be fun to have a way to have people like submit stuff for stream that's longer format, but I don't know if I want to. It might take up a lot of time on stream. This is like a routine thing, so we're gonna do it here. Okay, so I recently told my parents about some of the adult events I've been attending. I specifically told them about a pole dancing / karaoke event at a local bar that I attended. They were both surprised. My father understood me better, having been in the same position when he was in his early 20s. My mother took it much harder. Oh, that's unfortunate. I went to the pole dancing not really knowing what it was. I found the event through FetLife and didn't read completely through the description. I stayed there for about an hour and a half and spoke to some of the dancers, mostly curious about the nature of these kinds of events. One of whom I spoke to was, I'm going to say just Miss V. It's a fake name. Okay, so Miss Valerie. In case I'm using a fake name, just in case there is a real Miss Valerie that exists somewhere. I didn't think much else of it until I got invited to the next pole dancing event, which I then discovered was a weekly event. As it turns out, Miss Valerie is one who posted these events. I messaged her thanking me for the invite, to which she offered a lap dance. So I returned and accepted her offer multiple times over the next few weeks. I spoke to Miss Valerie about my interest in kink, how I have been going to other events. She mentioned that she does some fetish work, but keeps a low profile from her other work as a burlesque dancer and photographer. I asked about it and she offered to discuss a private session. I have now done 5 sessions with Miss Valerie, and I'm extremely grateful that she trusts me enough to share these moments with me. My parents do not know anything shared in these last 3 paragraphs, only the pole dancing and karaoke. My mother grew up a little more conservative and believes that sex work is degrading. Asked what I would do if my daughter or girlfriend was doing it. Oh, yes. Classic reaction. She seems to believe my view of women is changing for the worse, and indirectly made accusations that I engage in the objectifying behavior that is typically exhibited in strip clubs or similar spaces. She thinks the pole dancing is the only thing I go out for. I mean, yeah. I started to consider spilling the tea on my interest in kink and the fact that I go to these events. There's no way in hell I'm sharing my specific kinks. Fair. I will protect the identities of the people I've connected with. I want to make it clear that there are spaces where consent is the law of the land and where women and femme-presenting people are taking over their power over their own sexuality, which is not to exclude those on the ace spectrum. Oh, no exclusion taken. I will go to a monthly party next Friday. Where I've been multiple times before, and I hope to be able to ask about my situation. The biggest wild card is my mother's reaction. I'm not expecting her to understand, but I am afraid that giving more information will make it worse, especially since both parents know about my history with porn. It's gone spoken for many years, but at age 8, I was exposed to bondage porn. I started a years-long obsession with bondage, which made me aware of my many other fetishes. Long story short, that's where my interest in kink came from. I know that sharing this information will bring up this piece of my past, and that's why I'm uncomfortable with sharing about my interest in kink. I plan on using their advice combined with yours to decide whether I share the whole story with my parents. If I decide to share, how should I go about it? So it sounds like you sort of made the decision of like, you do want to share with them already. It's just a matter of how you want to do it. And I think it's definitely a process of evaluating what the potential consequences are, right? Like any and all possibilities. Also, thank you, Rindrop, for the 5 gift memberships. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind. I appreciate it. Thank you. But to get to Psycho Salad's question, I would evaluate, okay, what are the outcomes here? What could happen, right? Anything from mom goes no contact, mom tries to stage some kind of intervention, mom tries to directly confront you about it verbally, mom doesn't invite you to family gatherings or holiday parties anymore, and or your mother's opinion could be permanently damaged based on her own perceptions of what she believes is happening. Regardless of what you tell her is happening, she has to choose whether or not to believe you. You can't necessarily make her believe you. So I would just sort of think about all that. And, are you willing to accept what the worst possible outcomes would be before you decide to go forward or not? As far as how you go about it, I don't think there is necessarily a best way, because I imagine based on how your mother has already reacted so far, there's not necessarily a way you can do it that will magically make everything okay or guarantee that she has a positive reaction. I would say if she's being like passive aggressive or like making snippy comments, or like if she's the one who brings it up or like makes noise about it in the next couple of weeks, that's when I would be like, hey mom, so I've heard you make a couple comments like this, and I think we should probably talk more about this. And then you can get into like revealing more about how, the event that I'm going to, it's not just a pole dancing thing, it's also a community event for kinky people, and I feel like I would explain like the benefits of like why you're doing it, because obviously we know that going to these events are not just a sexual thing. It's not just to like cruise for hookups, and your mom's not going to understand that immediately. She's again has to choose to believe you that I'm going here to connect with like-minded people and to socialize in an accepting environment, and I find that to be really fulfilling. And I know that you have concerns about the women who are working there or that I'm engaging with, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have about that. These women are here of their own free will, and like we can have different opinions about if we think this is ethical or not, but this is what I'm doing to ensure that I'm doing it in an ethical way. I would probably I don't know, everyone's moms are different, but I would try to approach it from a like, here I'm proving that I've thought about this and I hear what your concerns are, and I also want to act in an ethical, mindful, and respectful way, and so here's what I'm doing that ensures that I'm doing that in a way that matches with my values. And you may disagree about the end result of that, or if it's objectifying or not. I can't change your mind, but I am doing this in a thoughtful way. I'm not just like making up excuses for what I'm doing and enabling everything. I would not necessarily get into the like I am doing fetish sessions with a I don't know. That's like a level of disclosure that I don't think is necessary. Just because it's crossing into like personal life territory in a way where like, okay, you want your parents to know about community involvement, but maybe like the people that you're seeing and the activities you're doing with them, I don't think needs to be a part of that conversation, you know, to get to, I think, what you want to get to. But I just imagine there's going to be a lot of questions. There's going to be a lot of really big feelings. And, you know, my experience has been with people who believe these kinds of things are inherently objectifying, especially if they're older and they were part of a different generation. I haven't ever known any of them to change their mind and be like, oh, you know, now that you've explained to me this way, I understand that, like, sex work is work and this is, like, totally legitimate. Like, that just takes, you have to break down so many beliefs to really change your opinion about that I don't know how possible that is. I would certainly say, as a person who knows many sex workers, many people that both do other kinds of sex work, at least at different times in their life, and also have done, like, stripping or working at clubs or who do pole dance, every single woman I know from that background who does that, you know, again, knowing my own privilege and kind of the bubble I exist within, obviously, like, all the women I know who do that kind of work are, like, intelligent, well-adjusted women who are doing it because it's something that they're good at and they make decent money doing it. And, like, it's not, like washing out at a strip club is, like, a more common occurrence than doing it long term. So if somebody is doing it for a longer period of time, it's probably because they're good at it and they like it, not necessarily because they're, like, trapped there and they can't get anything else. You know, at least there's definitely shadier, seedier strip clubs where maybe that's more the vibe, but everybody I know who does it because they're good at it and they make money doing it and they're used to dealing with customers, and it's, you know, it's a skilled job. And it takes both physical acumen and, like, sales skills and emotional intelligence to be able to navigate that kind of work. And most people that are doing it are not falling into it because they don't have any other options. But, you know, I don't know. Yeah. I never plan to share about the private sessions. Okay, yeah, that's probably... Yeah, she's a big one. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, I think that there's, like, people that are sort of, like, you know, they absorb media and cultural understandings of sex work and they just go, well, that must be bad because my image I have of sex work in my head is that's something that, you know, people that get kidnapped at 15 or, like, runaways do, you know, because they're tricked into it because they can't make money otherwise. And, you know, it's so objecting and so degrading and so horrible that no one would ever willingly do it. So it has to be inherently bad if people are doing it. Mm-hmm. If your mom is framing it as a objectification, have her read Nussbaum's account of objectification discussing both problematic and non-problematic types. Ooh, that's interesting. I guess it depends on if your mom's an intellectual that way. Might be persuaded by such arguments, but I think that's certainly an interesting way of looking at it because, yeah, just, you know, we kind of treat objectification as, like, inherently bad, but, you know, it doesn't have to be. You know, objectification is something that happens much more commonly than just, like, because, it, you know, through evil means, right? The issues are generally at male-centric clubs. They tend to be creepier and more dangerous to the workers and performers. Yeah, and this, like, if it's hosting a karaoke munch, I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's not exactly the most cishet-centered strip club you've ever been to in your whole life. Oh, that is delightful, Twixie. The flight attendant on my last flight home last night was decked out in as much rainbow gear as her uniform would allow. It was fabulous. I love it. That's fantastic. I guess it is. I mean, it's not technically Pride Month yet, but we're getting there. We are getting there, folks. And nary a whisper, Kink at Pride discourse. Let's let it sleep. Let's let it rest. Please, God, please, if you're listening, all I want for gay Christmas is to not have to deal with Kink at Pride discourse this year. Please, for once. Oh, yeah, my mother's a trans ally, doesn't understand it, but she's publicly defended them, so involvement with LGBTQ people is not the problem she has. Okay, that's good at least. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like she's a compassionate person. I would imagine she cares about people, and she's worried that this is a thing that harms people. It might be useful if there's... I don't have any resources I could directly point you to, but there are definitely online resources for various, like, sex worker... like Red Umbrella type groups, like sex worker organizations that are for and by sex workers that are meant to promote their rights as workers, so that way they get access to fair compensation and legal representation and are not being unfairly targeted by, police raids or things like that, and get to work in safer working conditions. And they usually have a bunch of stuff they're talking about in terms of like, this work is legitimate, and like, here's misconceptions that people have about it, and this is what we're advocating for. And like that, reading stuff from the perspective of sex workers maybe would be helpful too, kind of hearing it in their own words how they feel about the work that they're doing and what would actually help them. My opinion on all that is like, I'm very pro sex work. I think that like people should be able, like, if we allow people to work on oil rigs and on electrical wires and chopping down trees and other forms of work that are very easily likely to kill people or maim them permanently, I feel like we really shouldn't judge people for working at a strip club. I think we should be focusing on is making those working conditions safer and better for workers of all kinds, because that's what workers deserve. It doesn't matter what they're doing, why they're doing it. Just, obviously no minors, right? We're talking about like adults that are not being trafficked into the country or something, which I think is also another misconception, is people think that the people who work these clubs are all like, they're all secretly like 16-year-olds who got trafficked from Russia or something, which is also not a thing. That's not happening. But yeah. Anyone who argues against kink at Pride in 2025 when we have bigger problems needs to turn in their mafia alphabet cards. I mean, both of you would assume they ever had them, because a lot of people with the strongest opinions are not queer in the slightest, but seem to feel entitled to tell us how we should run our events. So, there's that. A sex work org I follow on Blue Sky is called SWAP, the Sex Worker Outreach Project. Maybe you could show her articles from them. Oh, yeah, that would be a good one. That was the one I was thinking of. But there's offshoots of that are, like, local to different areas, but that's definitely a good one. The solution to everything is limit and vet men trying to attend. I mean, vetting usually helps. It's not perfect by any means. I certainly know people that I don't think should be part of certain local communities that are very much there despite having been technically vetted because, well, they just abuse people in different places that are not part of that vetting process, so no one knows what they did. But yeah, or also how local politics can interfere with vetting, right? Well, if somebody abused someone, the person who got abused is not well liked by whoever is conducting the vetting process, they're going to be like, you're fine, I'm sure that she's just a crazy bitch, and then let you in anyways. Oh, it should not be a thing that influences the decision making, but it does. I am laying down some truth. How dare you be reasonable, Evie? That makes no sense for America. I mean, unfortunately, it does not make sense, but I wish it did. I wish it did. Oh, and a lot of them are turf adjacent. That's true. Yep. There's a reason sex worker... I very rarely meet one who's not both. I don't know very many people that are trans-inclusive but sex worker exclusive and vice versa. I'm sure it happens, but most people are both, which is weird. But I guess if you're going to be wrong, why not be wrong twice? It's actually been proven by a amount of research that having legitimate regulated sex work that's backed by laws, rules, and regulations actually makes it safer for everyone involved. Yeah, I mean, there's certainly, like, we could get into an argument about legalization versus decrim. Most people I know of that are sex workers advocate for decrim over full legalization because of some of the problematic elements of how legalization is typically implemented, and also because, again, have you seen America? So there are things that are already legal, right? Like strip clubs, where because it's already a legal form of sex work, to a certain extent, not everything all sex workers do in strip clubs are legal, right? People do things that they're not technically allowed to do in VIP, but the concept is already legalized. There are ways to make that more safe for people legally, but most people I know advocate for decrim for reasons that are more nuanced and complicated than I can spout from the top of my head right here in a live stream. But that is a thing that people have done a lot of thinking about and done lots of studies about. I think there's a quite famous little study from like Rhode Island where they accidentally legalized like street prostitution for like a little bit, and they were like, oh, actually, this actually made things like way better, and also it like made domestic violence rates go down, and like weird unforeseen correlations happened as a result of this process. So there are little I actually learned about that in like in school. I feel like I actually might have learned about that in like a class I took at some point, which is interesting. Yep, or they're friends with the abuser because, yeah, or the abuser friends with the person who does the vetting, which happens often because abusers tend to be good at manipulation. Yes. Turns out people who are really abusive love making friends with people who are in power and have authority because they like having friends in high places because isn't that convenient and beneficial for them? Oh my god, you all have no idea. You have no idea. Some people are just power hungry and they like being close to people that have power and esteem because they are parasites, and they will not suck the calcium out of your teeth, but they will use your power and prestige for leverage when, I don't know, messaging somebody who's a 20-year-old on FetLife to be like, hey, did you know that I used to date so-and-so? Hey, did you know that I'm part of this group and friends with these people and I do this thing, and look at my resume, look at my social acumen I've accumulated in the BDSM community. Hello, brand new 20-year-old. I will be your dom now. Psychic damage. So much psychic damage. It is funny how that works. It really is. It is funny in the funny, painful way. Oh, it's a religious thing. That's interesting that the trans thing isn't a religious thing then, but you know what? People pick and choose. Oh yeah, I don't think we should ban men. I don't think banning any one group of people usually, like, in totality, usually helps anything. Also, because then we get into, like, then we gotta prove, okay, you're a mask presenting non-binary person. Are you man enough to be let in? Or are you too manly enough to be banned? What if you're a pre-op trans woman? What if? And then that just gets into uncomfortable territory, and let's not go there. Power of people absolutely exist. They very much do. I also met a lot of women who are like this too, don't get me wrong. There's not as frequently, but it does happen. When I entered the BDSM community IRL for the first time, I was immediately approached by an abuser who was friends with the biggest event organizer in Montreal. I'm so sorry. That's terrible. But that's exactly the kind of, like, copacetic relationship that exists between these power structures is, and I don't know what, you know, this is true for, typical disclaimer, right? This is true for almost any hobby group you can be a part of, whether it's TTRPGs or cosplay or Magic the Gathering or whatever, right? Pick a hobby that involves groups of adults being together. There are people who will attach themselves to power that will make themselves gatekeepers of a space through organizing events, and then they use that as a way to get access to people that they want to be involved with romantic and sexually, and despite the way that they act, they get away with it because of who they're connected to, and then it becomes a little whisper thing where new people don't know about it, and then we have the missing stare problem. And people who are there and already know who the missing stare is, and they're like, oh yeah, that Bob guy's a real creep, but he's friends with Joe, so, like, we have to keep him around because we don't have a way to kick him out, because he's friends with the guy who, like, owns the card shop. And, you know, everyone else knows, but then when you're new, you have to have somebody, hopefully, who gets to you in time to warn you, and that doesn't always happen, especially over the internet when people maybe don't know who you're interacting with. Well, the good news is that even if you're late, you can always rewatch. In fact, you can even technically rewind while you're watching the live stream, because that's one of YouTube's technological advances over Twitch, is they make it really easy to rewind even during a live stream. You just got a reply from James Gunn on Blue Sky. Excuse me while I nerd out and squeal like a 5-year-old girl who just got a pony. Hopefully it was a good reply. They didn't call you an idiot for something. I hope, I don't know what they would have responded to. That's very interesting. I'm not even a furry, but I am an ally, and I am learning about so much drama and horrible people on TikTok. Oh, like furry drama? Oh yeah, furries. Oh, that's a big one too. Yeah, furries have all kinds of drama. Vince McMahon just popped into mind. Oh god. That guy. It would be nice if all they did was to insist on playing the lawful good paladin of Deer. Yeah. He could just stop being an asshole, you know, at, like, just the playing part of the game where you're like, no, my tiefling has to steal everybody and cast fireball in the middle of this market square. They're going to do it, and you can't stop me. I actually see more problems with people who insist on playing full chaotic evil in, like, a neutral party than lawful people in a neutral party. I do not even know what any furry drama would be, but I love that that is a thing that exists on TikTok that we get access to. What a beautiful modern age we exist in. So I was talking to this woman who manages to fund traveling the world full time with her husband by being a findom. No, I have some work to do. Oh, snap. Yeah. That sounds like a great idea. I know some people who've done that in the past who are like YouTubers. So obviously they make income from doing YouTube and ads on social media on top of, you know, maybe other types of remote work that they could already do. But you know, people who do it through, they do like house sitting, like dog sitting stuff abroad, or they do like hostels and they split rooms. Definitely, if you want to travel the world, there's ways to do that. But through findom is very interesting. What's in the mini screen? An animal? A dog? It's a dog. It's my Pomeranian. That's about, I think, as close. I know we're talking about you, honey. I know. I know she's kind of like hard to see at the moment. It's like when you're at a zoo enclosure and you can see kind of like the tail of the snow leopard, like between a bush. It's like the snow leopard's in there, but you can't really see the snow leopard. It's like that. She's a beautiful mystery, but she's a sleepy girl, so I'm not moving her. They always want to murder the village and steal everything. They want to murder everybody. That's why they're called murder hobos. That's why that's a thing. That's a word that exists. I had a good friend at one point in her life, worked as a stripper and happened to be a furry. She lived in a house full of gay guys, and the first time I visited her, it was a weird experience. That sounds amazing, actually. Also, she should have tried, like, if she wanted to, she could have definitely done, like, stripping stuff and, like a partial fursuit. Like, just kind of, like, the paws, I guess the both hands and feet paws, and like the head covering. I feel like that would have done numbers. You guys have probably all seen the TikTok with the person stripping in the inflatable T-Rex costume. I feel like, man, if you showed up and you were a furry stripper, the next week you come in, you're gonna have every furry in the entire city is gonna show up, you know. Yeah, don't wake her up. I know. She's a little precious little bean. I know, I can see her ears moving sometimes when I talk about her, so I don't think she's like fully asleep. Went back to school and got a nursing degree. Love it. And also, you know, a lot of people, you know, make out that like sex work is legitimate because, oh, well, but I'm doing it to pay for school. Oh, but I'm doing it to pay off my student loan debt. Oh, but I'm doing it because of this reason. Sex work doesn't need a reason to be legitimate, whether it's traveling the world or paying off a student loan. You can just do sex work because that's like the kind of job you're suited for. If you're like, I am biologically designed to be really good at stripping, or like I'm biologically designed to be really good at findom, great, we all have our talents, go for it, baby. Like that's, I'd like, do it. Just do it. It's okay. I am pro you finding your skill set in life, and like, you know, would you really be making the world better if you worked an office job instead? Arguably not really. Arguably you would not be making that big of a difference either way. So just do what you're suited for. And especially because a lot of the people who are in this line of work are often, you know, chronically ill and or neurodivergent and or like gender nonconforming / like non-cis people or like non-straight people who find it much easier to work for themselves in a non-conventional environment where they can, you know, be who they are openly and not have to worry about it. Or they know that they're putting on a performance, but it's a performance that they're okay doing, like, for that particular kind of job. I know a lot of people that absolutely, like, love working for themselves and doing sex work and love the freedom of it and the fact that if they need to, if they have, like, a chronic illness flare-up, they don't have to ask permission or get shift coverage to take 4 days off because they physically can't get out of bed, and if they don't, they're going to get fired. They just get to take the time off. Everyone should get to have that luxury, but not everyone does. A zebra furry, that sounds cute. All right, more questions. People give me shit for being a housewife with no kids. I mean, housework is work. It definitely takes a lot of effort, and you know what? I don't often say this, but they are probably literally just jealous. They probably wish they didn't have to do work. At least not in that particular form of it. But also, if they had to do regular housework every day, they'd probably hate it as well. So you know what? It sucks. Didn't have to list off my traits. Sorry for calling you up by accident. Do something productive with your life? You're just a sugar baby? Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. It depends on what part of the world you're in. There are definitely, like, I know, like Japan and like some places in Asia, sex workers that cater to female clients are a lot more common, but it's not common in the West because it's not like socially normalized, and like the kinds of, like, it does happen. It's just not as common. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like, you can't force a market to happen if it's not already, like, if there's not a demand for it, you know? It's sort of begins and ends with like Chippendales and like bachelorette party stuff, you know. And part of it is also like, I don't know, it's just a cultural thing. It's just a cultural thing. It depends on where you are. There's lots of access to those kinds of things in other regions. I think it could be something that like could be good for women in the West if it became more normalized, like sort of taking models we have from other countries where it is more popular, but it's just not a thing for whatever reason. Thank you for the disability inclusion. I feel so seen. You are very welcome. I'm also sorry that you feel the need to thank me for what is a very basic thing, because I feel like that should just be implicit in people's analysis of the world. There are many things that annoy me, and one of the things that annoy me the most is when people forget about disabilities existing. Like, do you guys just not ever interact with humans that are disabled or have chronic illness? Do you just, like, not ever interact with... Maybe you just don't know. Maybe, honestly, that's mostly what happens. People don't know that they interact with people that are different than they are, and they just don't even think about it. I mean, sex work is complicated, and people say, oh my gosh, you just sell your feet pics, sell your bathwater, make money. But it's a market. And at this point, because of people like Amaranth and Belle Delphine and other people that have popularized kind of like casual sex work. Oh my God. Okay. I heard about this. Where did I hear about this? Instagram. I saw an Instagram reel where somebody was talking about how on TikTok, there are apparently people, and have you guys seen this? Apparently there are people who are doing like casual findom, pay pig stuff, and not realizing it and being disgusted at the idea that they're being called sex workers because of that. Like, they're doing the like, pay me money, here's my Cash App, pay me money thing in TikToks, and then like getting pay pigs to pay them money, and then bragging about it as a way to like make easy money. And then like when people are like, congrats, you're doing sex work, they're like, oh, how dare you? It's like, you're calling people pay pigs and telling them to pay you money. What did you think that meant, baby girl? What did you think that you were doing? I've contemplated making a video about it. And maybe I will. There's so many things to talk about. I have like so many ideas for videos right now that are all like competing for space in my brain, and it's very difficult because I know people who can switch between video scripts and just like boom, 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 get them all out of there. I can't do that. That's not me. I can't. Oh, I have to get all the way through one idea first and then move on to the next one. I can't switch flows like that. It doesn't work for me. I can write down the ideas and come back to them later, even if it's been weeks, but I can't read something here, research this, do half a video here, come back to this one. Doesn't work for me. Can we get a male imprisonment video soon? Oh, the one where I talk about how all men should start in jail and then have to earn their way out. I think that might end up on like the bad. I could make that as like a joke, but then I don't want that to end. You know how many alpha males would react to that? You know how many death threats I would get over making that video? You know how many, like, I already have enough issues with people. Like, I don't want that smoke, okay? I don't want to have to deal with like ending up on a weird part of where, I don't, like a Telegram alpha male group chat where they like, look at this bitch. I just don't want to go there. Shocker, making money in exchange for sexual favors is sex work. I know. But this is like, it's not, people are acting like this is new on TikTok. It's not, right? Ever since, even before Belle Delphine, even before Amaranth, like people were talking about on YouTube, right? Like, you know, easy ways to make money, like how I made $5,000 a month from like selling my feet pics or my underwear or my socks or my bathwater. The bathwater thing was a Belle Delphine original, but you know, that kind of thing. What they don't realize, and what Belle Delphine didn't realize, because they don't consider themselves sex workers, so they're in a community of sex workers, so they don't access resources for sex workers. They don't realize that if you do sex work, PayPal will notice and it'll suspend your account and it'll take your money and refund people because they do not allow sex work on their platform, right? So you have to be careful with that stuff. You can't just be selling your feet pics on YouTube and then be shocked when PayPal like suspends your account, you know? But yeah, maybe I'll talk about it at some point just because I am genuinely worried, especially when it gets into BDSM territory, when you're doing like BDSM or role play and you're not even understanding the gravity of it. That's how you get into... I'm making a bonding reference, my goodness. The second season of Bonding on Netflix, right? I think it's the second season where they do the little femdom. Femdom is when, what did fem stand for? Fem flam. That's when you're faffing about and you're not doing anything serious. So femdom, Bonding, second season. They like role play fucking up somebody's credit card and like spending a lot of money, and then they like go way too far with it, and like you gotta be careful. Gotta be careful with Findom. I ended up on adult content creator advice YouTube for some reason. My For You page is this stuff, yeah. Oh, we can talk about Amaranth, yeah. It's not ADHD. Okay, I'm so serious. I don't know why people do this. I am mad because I have had toxic relationships where people have accused me of having various mental illnesses as a way of deflecting from me telling them not to do certain things to me. So I take umbrage when people try to tell me that I have ADHD or autism or whatever disorder as strangers on the internet who don't see my life every day. I have done so many assessments. I have been in therapy for so long. I do not have any of these disorders. I know what it is like to be around them because I have people in my family with ADHD. I date people who have ADHD. The inability to like want to write more than one thing at a time but having multiple ideas is just being creative. I'm sorry that I have multiple things that interest me at once. It does not mean that I have ADHD. Oh my god, people. Please don't do this to content creators. Please don't do this to strangers you don't know online. Don't diagnose people you don't know. You know how easy it is to not diagnose people you don't know and tell them they have something? Also, because are you doing it to feel smart or because you want to help somebody? Listen, if I ever am like, I think something's wrong with me, I need to source from my audience what I think is wrong with my brain, I will let you all know when that time happens. But until that point, do not tell me that I have conditions I don't actually have, because it's none of y'all's fucking business if I do or don't anyways, okay? I don't talk about my mental health or neurodivergence, what it is or is not on this channel for a reason, okay? So just stop. Anyways. Amaranth is complicated. I don't know what the fuck's going on with Amaranth currently. I would say, though, that if you are a human being, you can be a bad person and do bad and wrong things and still be abused by somebody. And also, it would not be... Oh, yeah, and the soap thing. Oh, my God, the soap thing. Yes, I saw that earlier today, and I woke up, and it was like the first thing I saw this morning, and it was so early that I was like, I think I dreamed that. Oh my god. And I saw somebody who was like, I thought Sydney Sweeney was for the girls. I'm like, Sydney Sweeney is for your wallet. She is a celebrity. She is trying to cultivate a brand image so she can sell you a product. She has never been for the girls or for the guys or for anyone. Celebrities are for the money. They are for being in your wallet. That is why they exist, so that way they can ingratiate themselves and then launch a skincare brand. That's what it's about. So, yes, the Sydney Sweeney Sasquatch soap thing. That's an element of this, too. Like, I'm not gonna do sex work because sex work is icky and gross, but then I'm gonna do kind of like a sex worker thing anyway, but then I'm gonna be insulted if you tell me that it's sex work is annoying to me and I hate it and I don't like it. You be bragging about being neurotypical at 2025? Wow. I'm not saying I'm neurotypical. I'm just saying it's not anyone's fucking business on my channel what flavor of neurodivergent I am or not, or to what extent I am or not, because it's not the focus of my content. And I try to have some sense of boundaries with my life and my channel. Anyways, yeah. The soap thing, I missed it. Someone sent help. Oh, okay. Well, we're good. Oh, now there's enough things between the Sydney. I forgot about the soap thing. There's a soap thing and the TikTok thing and the historical things that have already happened with like foot content and things being banned on FetLife and everything else, and the bathwater and Belle Delphine. So many things. So we're going to talk about it in a video. But my understanding is that Sydney Sweeney is doing some kind of soap collaboration with the Sasquatch soap company. And like there's like a kind of salacious like bathtub promo image I think for it or something that people are upset about. I don't know. Something like that. Also, is it sanitary if it has her bath water in it? But also, if it had water in it and it's bar soap, it's been saponified and it's like basically been boiled. Like, it's not whatever essence of Sweeney was in there. It's been boiled out. The chemical processes that happen to make saponification a thing, that turn things into soap bars, is yeah. There's just a lot going on. Yeah, no spam. If you spam, you get banned. If you spam, you get banned. That's the rule. Oh my goodness. Okay, we have about half an hour left. So, ask your questions. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Your peas. As in little green peas. As in vegetables. My goodness. I went for asexual exclusive pins because every other pride pin either doesn't represent ace persons, or if they did, it's very small and on the very bottom. That is true. That is a thing that happens. A lot of people are like, oh, and there's ace people, I guess, too. Like, it's very much an afterthought, which makes me sad. I get why, but it makes me sad. It does make me sad. All right, I am scrolling through the chat here. I'm looking, I'm monitoring for your questions. Speaking of stuff being banned on FetLife, off FetLife, I'm really irked that bloodplay is one of the things they draw a line on not supporting people who are into it. Oh, I mean, I know, like, I see lots of, like, bloodplay classes on there. I have partners and people who post bloodplay photos, like, somewhat regularly, and they don't have issues. Maybe it's like a friends only thing. There was a time period where it was like really like they had like no blood play at all. They had like a zero tolerance policy, and I don't think that that's changed. I think that like it's gone back. I don't think it's gone back to that fully, but it is maybe like a shadow ban situation. I don't think they get banned overtly for posting it. Otherwise, I guess people I know have gotten very lucky with certain things. Yeah, the only man that Sydney Sweeney is for is the Benjamin. Exactly. You can hold your black-eyed peas instead. That's acceptable. If you don't have regular peas on hand, that'll work. I dozed off a bit. Can't believe this is great as a sleepy podcast just as much as it is to be heavily involved in chatting. That's brilliant. I love it. I do have certain things to listen to if I'm taking a nap. Not to go to sleep at night, but there is something I find like really rewarding about a little like nap time podcast where it's like, I'm gonna lay down for an hour. It's a late afternoon. I'm gonna have a little sleep for like an hour listening to a podcast or like a long YouTube video. The Femocracy party is tomorrow and I'm so excited. End of stream gifted memberships on the way. Ooh, congratulations. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. And good luck at the party. I'm excited for you. I'm excited to hear how it goes and what it's like. Definitely share updates when you get a chance to. Thank you so much. And congrats to all the new members in the live stream. Oh my goodness. Got 10 more members. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, we're at the part where we're talking about clicks, I guess. You could pole dance in a partial fursuit. If it was a silicone pole or like a covered pole, you could probably do fully clothed, but typically you need skin contact. That's why, like, you actually do need skin contact to do pole dancing. But they don't just not wear clothing or very much clothing because of the aesthetic. It's because you need skin contact to be able to stick to it. Only 30 minutes left. Time sure flies when watching an EV stream. I know. Time flies while doing an EV stream. My goodness. Thank you, Twixie. I appreciate it. All right. We have a question here, a super chat from Ox. Is it easier finding group play and public scenes on FetLife after supporting it financially? Searching around and maintaining visibility has been tedious. Like paying for like a, what is it called on FetLife when they have their like membership thing. So I've, as far as I know, unless somebody has gifted it to me and I forgot about it, I've never paid for FetLife. I've never used their premium like member service. I would not do that if you're trying to find stuff. So if you're finding group play and public scenes, I don't think you're going to find anything through paying for FetLife that you wouldn't find just the regular way. If it's about you maintaining visibility as a user, I guess I could see it, like, I don't know. I don't really think FetLife has like that much of an algorithm. So I don't think that would be the case either. I think it's just what's accessible to you locally, and the quality of ads that you're posting or how you respond to people is probably a lot more important. There are definitely places outside of FetLife that you can look as well. I mean, most big things are going to be on FetLife, but there's Plura, there's Stranger Tickets, there's Forbidden Tickets. There's definitely other websites that also have events too that you could look for. But yeah, that's just what I would think about is maybe focusing energy there and not necessarily on paying for FetLife. I don't think it's really going to change anything for you, especially if you are looking for group play. If you're just looking for random people to do it with, like you just want to do like a group sex scene, that's going to just be a needle in a haystack problem. That's going to be a lot of looking probably for a very long time if you're just looking for functionally strangers to do it with. I think most people who do that successfully, it's because they have a partner who has another partner, or they have like, you know, kind of a friend group where maybe like casual group sex is like a friendship thing, or some combination of a thing like that where you just already are friends with people and know people, and then it opens up to group play or group sex, but usually not as a random stranger via FetLife situation. Some people do that. Some people meet partners on FetLife and, you know, hook up with people and do all of that. I've never gotten good vibes from that. There are definitely like personal. So if you're not familiar with FetLife, or you haven't like gone to this part of FetLife before, there are definitely people on FetLife who run personal boards for local areas, right? They have like Phoenix area BDSM personals, and people post looking for hookups, play partners, practice partners, friends, house roommates, whatever, and with mixed results. I would say the majority of people who use those kinds of groups tend to be people that are looking for a simple sexual outlet, are most likely not even part of the kink community, but are just like, oh, I can't go on Craigslist anymore for personal, so I'm going to go on FetLife and post that I'm going to be at the Motel 6 off of the highway tonight at 6 p.m. and I'm going to leave the door unlocked, and if you want to come in with a friend and fuck me, then, you know, there you go. Like, you know, that kind of thing is much more common, but it always seems really like sketchy. Like in a, like you might get robbed or be robbed kind of way, or kidnapped or something worse. It just does not seem like a good time. I'm sure people do that successfully and like post a like, I want strangers to fuck my girlfriend post, and then it works out and everyone loves it and it's fine, but I feel like it almost never works out, especially organizing an orgy on FetLife. I do know some people who organize orgies, but again, it's like a vetted, closed group. Usually it's in a very prominent, like, dungeon where, you know, the people that are going to the event and are invited are people that are already, you know, known in other areas, and they're you know, being invited in, not just a free-for-all thing. If you pay for FetLife, is just to view videos and the ability to invite friends. Oh, like invite people to events? Oh, interesting. Okay. FetLife is where I found my newbie party in dungeon. Oh yeah, I mean, I think FetLife is always really good for that. If you're looking for just your average run-of-the-mill dungeon party, or just to kind of get a survey of what's in your area, like FetLife is most likely going to give you the most accurate picture. Yes, some people at FetLife unironically make me wonder if they've killed somebody. It definitely does seem like I'm like peering into like a strata of society that I'm not used to interacting with, a la the like Motel 6 gangbang people, where I'm like, so let me get this straight. You, a white woman, want specifically and only black men to show up at the Motel 6, and you are not on birth control, and you would like them to come in you repeatedly because you would like to be knocked up with a baby from a stranger. That's your kink. Oh my god. Like, I'm horrified, I'm shocked, I'm aghast, and honestly I'm hoping it doesn't work out for you. Like, just so weird, just such a different way of existing in the universe, and just like, have we thought about the ramifications of this? Oh, inviting friends to the platform, nothing to do with inviting people to events. Is FetLife friend only now? Is it invite only now? You can't just make an account? Do you have to be invited? That doesn't make sense. What would the benefit of being able to invite people would be? Sending them a link that's like, here, join FetLife, if you can just still make an account by yourself. Strange. What is the purpose? It's actually very relevant to me because I really want to organize an orgy to celebrate my 3rd year HRT anniversary. Ooh, congratulations. And I'm absolutely lost on how to begin that process. Oh, you are. I've never had an organized orgy before. Don't know if you know this about me. I'm not really an orgy person. But you know, if you know someone who organizes orgies regularly, you might want to talk to them about helping you organize a special one for your special event for your anniversary. Maybe they could help with that. But it is not easy. And I don't know if there's like, maybe somebody's written a guide out there on how to organize an orgy. But do you want strangers? Do you just want friends? Do you want it to be at your house, in public, at a hotel? Like, what are we looking at, people? What are we looking at? Airbnb, heaven forbid. Seems like a good way to get banned from Airbnb. It's free and open. Oh, okay. If someone told me that I would suggest maybe try skydiving or any other rather serious extreme sport activity that is questionably safer, yeah. Do you have any good advice for hooking up with other people via Grindr? Should gay or bisexual men avoid doing BDSM when hooking up with guys via Grindr, just stick to vanilla instead? Okay, so I'm not on Grindr. I feel like this would actually be a great question for Wasa's safe word. They maybe talked about it before. Here's my opinion as a non-Grindr user, because that is objectively not the app for me individually as a human person. My advice in general for people who are dating is I would probably not do BDSM in private with somebody that I only knew via a dating app the first time I met them. I would want to wait for a couple of dates first, and then if I had the opportunity, do something at a public venue, because I feel like that is the safest way to go forward. I know too many people that have had way too many horror stories because they find a guy in a dating app and they're really hot and they say all the right words and they get really into the role play, and then suddenly the person is at their apartment and screaming at them at the top of their lungs and throwing things and like acting really violent and fucking weird when they get told no. So I would say probably don't put yourself in that scenario. Take some time to get to know the person, work your way up, and if they're like, oh my god, you can't do this right away, like if they're really impatient and they just want to do BDSM right away immediately and they just like don't want to actually get to know you as a person, like, how can you build trust in that environment? You can't. You're going to be taking a risk. And so if you want to reduce your risk, don't take chances with somebody that you can't really get to know first before leaping into that level of play. Yeah. Oh, you need to give FetLife your phone number. Oh, interesting. Okay. Now you can still create a new account without an invite. You just did it in an incognito window. I see. Restraint's bad. I mean, especially if you're going to be playing with a stranger who you don't know and have never met before, I would be wary about incorporating bondage, because that, I think, is it the most dangerous toy you could play with? Like, I mean, I guess if you had a gun, like, if you had a weapon, like, there are definitely ones that are maybe more dangerous, but as far as, like, dangerous and common, bondage would be the one. I'd be like, maybe don't do that on a first date with a stranger. Maybe don't. Did I miss the first part of that question? I feel like I missed part of it when I was answering. Let me double check here. I don't see it now. Have you ever done Ancestry DNA or 23andMe? No, one of my siblings did, and you're gonna be shocked. You're gonna be shocked by this. I am entirely from the British Isles. But this is my family lineage, okay? You guys ready for this? It's like almost all Welsh, Scottish, Irish, and British. And then a little tiny bit of Dutch. There's a little Dutch in there. And a little tiny bit of Balkan. And that's it. That's all. That's all that's in there. Which, it's not that spicy. But this was years and years ago. My sibling did this, like, oh god, more than 5 years ago, probably, maybe even 7 or 8. Oh, like, but they're also really into, like, genetic stuff and, like, family ancestry. So it's not shocking. I know they update the results periodically, so that, you know, give me a minute, I'll get some fresh air. Yeah, here you go. Prepared. I know it's hard to believe that with somebody as complexion as fair as mine is, that I might be from Wales or Ireland or Scotland originally, but also most of my family's been in America for a very, very, very long time, like the 18th century. So it's not like I have recent heritage from any of those places. It's all, most of my family, from what I know, goes very, very far back. The results might be different now from updates. The last update we got was a little bit that added, like, extra, like, ooh, now you have a little bit of Eastern European in there that didn't used to be in there before. That was the update. Before it was like 95% British and Irish, and then like 5% Dutch. Now there was a little extra slice that got added to Eastern European. But yeah. You missed AJ's question twice. It was about seeing people have sex on the side. Oh, dang it. Thank you for highlighting that. It was about seeing people having sex on the side of a hiking trail and how to check if it's consensual. Oh. I mean, it's sort of like asking, is there a good way to have a car crash? Like, I don't think that there's a good way. Like, there's just less bad options, I think. I don't think there's ever going to be a, like, perfect way of reacting to that. If you want to check to see if it's consensual, if you're worried about that, this is what I would do. I'm not saying that this is like the perfect thing, but the thought that comes to my mind is I try to get in their eye line, and then I like try to get a thumbs up from them. I'm like, thumbs up, we good? And then, you know, if both people give me a thumbs up and like pause, then I'm like, okay, we're good. But if somebody is like obviously distressed and I can tell visually that they're like not all together, I'm like, hey, is everything good here? Like, we okay? Like, then I would escalate into like establishing a conversation, trying to interrupt what's happening. But yeah, I mean, I think especially if it is on a hiking trail, like, unfortunately, there are a lot of stories of especially female, like, solo hikers, and, you know, female runners, and, you know, all different outdoors activities, single women, unfortunately, you know, being assaulted in these places. So I think I could see why you would want to check in if you felt like that might be a situation where that could be happening. But I would start as low invasive as possible while trying to get an assessment of like the nonverbals happening, and then escalate if you're not able to get a clear read. I mean, at minimum, they are breaking the law by having like public sex, right, in a visible public park. So even if it's like not an assault, if they're caught by somebody, they are probably going to stop because they don't want to have the cops called on them and then be a registered sex offender for having sex in public. I don't know if that's the case everywhere, but I think in a lot of states, if you have sex in public, you have to go to the sex offender registry. Somebody should check on that. It's my gut instinct on that. doing the thing now. Yeah, I mean, I'd be like, you want to get a thumbs up? And maybe that's just me, because I feel like that's a really easy, clear, unambiguous check-in with somebody. Like, even beyond doing like green, yellow, red, just having a little like, we good? You know? Doesn't take that much energy if you have a thumb that works. And there you go. And it's, you know, easy, simple, universally understood. And then if people are good, then you can just go, all right, well, you can just back off and you don't have to worry about it. If you don't want to, you know, call the cops on them because you think public sex is fine or whatever. A girl I dated a while back was enthusiastic about trying bondage during our first meetup. Was a bit weird trying to explain to her, okay, so I want to earn your trust, but like, this is a bad idea. I mean, also she needs to earn your trust too, right? Like, you know who this person is. Like, they can get into bondage and then have an immediate meltdown and start screaming and then like having a panic attack and then trying to like scream, call the cops. Oh my God. Like, you don't know, like somebody could do that and then have, oh my goodness, the puppy is awaking. Oh my goodness, the puppy's awaking. Hi, sweetie. We've had a very good nap. My goodness. I can see through the smoky shadow that she is smiling at me like... And I love it. It's fantastic. Thankfully, everything appeared good, but the idea of assault popped into my mind, and I didn't know if there was an established protocol. I don't think there is. I can't think of one that is. I like the idea of potentially there being some kind of thing like that, but I haven't heard anything if there is. I don't know of any state where it isn't at least an option for the judge. If you get convicted of having sex in public, yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, you know, because like sometimes sex in public does cross those boundaries, you know? If you're having sex in a children's park, you know, maybe you should go on a list. Just saying. Little Papini. Hello, my girl. Did you have a nice nap? Hi, sweetie. She's like, uh-oh, we're moving. We're moving again. Oh, we're yawning. Oh, my goodness. Activity. Activity is occurring. Boop, 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 boop. We have our nice, shiny new rabies tag on. We are certified rabies free. I just wanted to make sure I was making the right decision by choosing not to do BDSM with guys I met on Grindr. Yeah, I mean, I think after you get to know them a little bit, sure. I feel like 3 or 4 dates is a good benchmark. You probably know how you feel. But also, you can do like vanilla stuff. You don't have to not touch each other. Just, you know, maybe don't break out the rope and restraints and the collars and the blindfolds. I thought your dog was a cat. Oops. Many such cases. Lots of people believe my dog is a cat. She is vaguely cat-shaped, and I think many dogs believe she is a cat. I think she thinks she's a cat. I think she sees cats and believes she sees Pomeranians. Because she loves cats. They're her favorite little creatures. And bunnies. We love bunnies. Maybe not as much as cats, though. No respectable dominant wants to play with a new sub and accidentally hurt them because they didn't get to know them well enough beforehand. Yes. I think that is a good benchmark. I'd even do it with my family, though far more brutally honest. Look, I warned you this was a bad idea and you did it anyway. Now you did it and ended up getting hurt for your trouble. Stupidity hurts. I mean, yeah. I mean, if that's your background, for sure. But, you know, I'm not that kind of communicator generally myself. My grandfather always trusted the family to work smarter, not harder, and I think that applies to everything, even BDSM. Yes. Yes. I think that is a good mantra to have. I mean, work harder occasionally when it's fun. Work hard when it's fun, but not because you feel like you have to for some weird, bizarre reason. My mom did 23andMe. She was 99.7% Scandinavian. Wow. The most Scandinavian. That's crazy. I heard a story where the person walked out of the hookup's bedroom and the person was putting down a tarp and instruments. They called the cops and locked themselves in the bathroom. Scary as fuck. Oh my god. Like a saw? Like, ooh, let's... I could, as somebody who does weird BDSM sometimes, I could see a scenario in which one of my partners decides to lay down a tarp. All right. We've got waterproof furniture and pads. Things happen. But if I had just met a person and they were like, I'm getting out a big blue tarp and a bone saw, I'm going to be like, what the fuck? Like, I would definitely locking yourself in a bathroom is a smart move. That sounds absolutely fucking terrifying. Oh my God. One of the many reasons why I don't believe in hookups. Won't do them. Don't need them. It's fine. You can just look up women arrested at dentist. Oh. CarPlay helps scratch some of the itch for public/outdoor that isn't as really scratched for me anyway. Oh yeah, lots of going in a parking in an empty parking lot somewhere, pulling over at a scenic lookout. That I think actually would be fun. If you pull over to a scenic lookout and then you have a hatchback or something where you can have your partner lay down on the ground and then spank him or tie him up or something. I think that'd be fun. I could see that being and then. If you're the only person at the lookout, who's gonna notice? Hopefully not a cop. Hopefully a cop doesn't notice you tying somebody up at the back of your car over a cliffside. That might be bad. All things scary risk, I suppose. I do take a more sympathetic approach with non-family, though, as obviously I don't have the same relationship with folks who aren't directly related to me. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I even refuse to do CarPlay with Grindr hookups because I don't want to get in trouble with the law, so I make it clear I don't do CarPlay either. I mean, hey, setting your boundaries. Oh, I already have a giant bruise on my knee. I don't really need another. Okay, great. Owie. Anyways, so I feel sorry for myself for making my bruise worse on my knee, because that's not a fun place to have a bruise. That's not a fun bruise. I guess maybe. I don't actually know where I got it from. I might have actually been kneeling doing housework, now that I think about it. So it kind of was fun, actually. CarPlay. People doing stuff in cars. Definitely don't want to get arrested. Which honestly, especially if you're a guy hooking up with guys on Grindr, I feel like the law would be much more likely to come down more strongly on you as a result of that than a straight couple hooking up in a car. Let's be honest. Depending on where you are in the world. In most places, I think cops are going to be like, oh, two gay men hooking up in a vehicle, disgusting. Whereas it's a time-honored tradition to have young folks, young heterosexuals, make love in the back of a hatchback. I don't know why, but TARP immediately made me think of what shitting tables that Comedy Central decided was a thing in the mid-aughts. Basically a clear coffee table one person would shit on with the other person under. What the fuck was Comedy Central doing in the mid-2000s? Were they just endorsing, was that corporophilia? My God. We were just... The George H.W. Bush administration was clearly peak comedy, I say with dry sarcasm. I refuse to do CarPlay because I'm 6'5", legit. That's fair. Everything would just be like Mr. Incredible. But what if you did Mr. Incredible roleplay in the car? What do you think about that? Oh, no, that's great. Fair enough, yeah. But what if you did it in a flatbed old school pickup truck? A proper, when we were a proper country. Proper 70s restored pickup truck. You could go car camping in, Not only in cars, but also on cars. Oh, you're right. I guess you could also do things on vehicles, like bend people over the hood. In which case, I feel like people would just assume that somebody's being arrested or being assaulted by an undercover police officer. Where else in a car? Could you do something on the hood? On the window. That doesn't seem safe. You probably shouldn't do anything on the actual window of a car. Somebody has. Am I being too much of a worrywart by refusing to CarPlay, or is that a smart move? I don't want to get in trouble for indecent exposure by the law. I mean, I wouldn't risk it. It's one thing if you're with somebody and you scope out an area where, this parking lot's always empty and there's, no one drives by it and there's no cameras and there's no security guards, whatever. You can maybe find a place where it would be relatively low risk, but I think for the sake of a hookup, I just wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't do it. But I think if you're into car play as an idea and that does something for you, I think there's ways to do it that reduce the risk of, indecent exposure laws. I mean, also, I think maybe part of it is you just keep all your clothes on except your underwear. Maybe that helps, probably. Doesn't raise as much suspicion. Easier to get into a position where maybe just looks like you're making out as opposed to penetrating or being penetrated. I got to see my daddy last weekend for her birthday, and oh man, I was not prepared for how long it's taking for me to get out of a completely submissive headspace. Oh yeah. Yeah. Subspace, powerful thing. Being in a submissive headspace, I know that feeling, especially if you have a long distance partner who you don't get to see very often. It's rough. Yeah. Our other girlfriend is going to reap the benefits of that hard headspace switch. Yep. That's one of the fun things about multiple partners is it's like, I miss my other person, but I also have this other person I like. Yay. Makes it a little bit easier, or it can cause problems too, depending on the situation, but it also sometimes works out. All right. I'm going to say 5-minute warning, folks. Speak now, forever hold your peace. If you have wanted to ask a question or I missed your question earlier, ask about it now or wait until next week. Car play, unless in a private driveway, is almost always illegal, and taking that risk is a personal decision. Oh yeah, fair. Is it even, could you get, if you're in like a suburban neighborhood and you're like not just making out but like fucking in your vehicle in the driveway, not in the garage, can you get in trouble for that? Because I feel like even that is like, exposing your neighbors technically. You could, you would not be invited to the block party that summer for sure. Are we still talking about hookups? Sorry, I went to Wendy's for a hookup. Just kidding, for fries. Yeah, you got to hook up for fries. That's great. Fantastic. What are you doing, Papita? What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? Hey, look at me. What are you doing? What are you doing? Come over here. Come over here, ma'am. Yeah, come on. Oh, no. Oh, we're running away. Come here. Oh, we flopped over. Oh, we flopped over. There we go. Hi, baby. I know. What were you doing? Were you going to lick the carpet? Were you going to lick the carpet and eat invisible crumbs from the carpet that we should not be eating? Hello, my darling. Would you like to join us as we talk about Wendy's fries? You would love a French fry, wouldn't you? You would kill for a French fry. You would commit squirrel murder to get a French fry. You would do that anyways for fun. You would. If you could do it. If you could get a little squirrel between your little teeny tiny little jaws with no teeth left. Uh-oh, we're typing. Oh, God. We're typing. You typed on my keyboard, little dog. You typed on my keyboard. What was that? Oh, we're typing again. Stop pressing the space bar. This is if she knows what she did. Oh my goodness, silly girl. She is a carpet licker. She is sometimes, she's mostly cute and sometimes very gross. Wingstop actually has good fries. I've heard that, but I don't have vegan wings, so I haven't been there. I've had my partner order from there before, a long time ago, years and years ago. But then again, the person who let their boyfriend convince them to eat their pussy behind Independence Hall. Oh my goodness, that is, I mean, there's a joke in there somewhere. I don't know how to make it. I don't know how to thread that needle, but that's great. That's fantastic. I love it. I don't actually think she didn't type in any sort of box. So I didn't actually capture the key inputs, but it was basically like the VBN keys and the space bar. So not anything that would have been mind-blowing, I think. There were no vowels involved at that juncture. I mean, I am in love with my Pomeranian, so, you know. There's definitely that. Also, it's called face makeup. Video idea, guess the kinks of fast food mascots. That would be funny. Are any of them minors? Is the Jack in the Box guy? He's not a minor, right? I like this idea. This is a good one. That'll be a nice, fun video for when I inevitably have to talk about sexual abuse cases again, whenever those get updated. Which there's not been enough quite to put a video together on yet, but it is in the pipeline. But yes, I will think about that. That'll be a good eye bleach video. No points for guessing clownery for Ronald McDonald. I mean, that's like sort of saying a goth girl has a fetish for goths. Like, I don't think that would be his kink at all. I think it might be a clown-related activity, but I don't think it would just be clowns. Soon Bandita will learn to type, and I think her words will change the world. Maybe. She has knowledge of how to bring peace on Earth. Role-playing as fast food mascots? I mean, somebody's done that. Absolutely. Five Guys Burger and Fries have best French fries, hands down, if you ask me. Where are my favorite fries from? I do like Red Robin, actually. Anything I can put malt vinegar on? I like actually really tiny. My favorite are like the really tiny shoestring fries are my favorite. And I have not found anywhere in Portland that I can get them reliably, like a vegan restaurant. I have like something on my face. What is that? Hi, dog. All right, let's do... Oh, give me credit for the idea, though. Oh, absolutely. I will say Psycho Salad told me to do this video. Some Jack in the Box commercials were freaky, actually. Oh, yeah, and not Arby's. Carl's Jr. Those are very horny. He is a bimbo kink. The Carl's Jr. star, bimbo kink. Jackson only not a minor, but he has a wife and son. Okay, fair enough. Okay. That's funny. Okay, all right. All right, who will be the next question? Who will be the final question? I've actually had a Red Robin burger in a very long time, or been to Red Robin at all. It's probably been a couple years at least, maybe. Oh, big yawn, honey. Big yawn. Big yawn. Oh, sweet baby. This you is a sweet baby. Sydney Sweeney's an actress, and you're not missing anything by not knowing about her. Sorry for the Sydney Sweeney truthers. I think people like Sydney Sweeney because she has big naturals, and it begins and ends there. That's it. That's all. I'm an Anya Taylor-Joy fan, personally. Just gonna throw that out there. I think she's cool. Oh my goodness, what are we doing, dog? Are we trying to get up? Do we want to be a little pause on here, maybe? Okay. Five Guys, not Give Guys. Oh my god. Oh my god, it's a nod to Idiocracy. I will not consciously make any nods to the movie Idiocracy if I can help it, outside of, I guess, you know, it's what plants crave, I suppose. Not a question, but I get a lot of your side effects of choking video. I've passed it on so many people can be informed. Thank you. Oh, great. I'm glad that was helpful. Yeah, I'm really glad that there's more science emerging about choking, because it's definitely something we need to reference more often and talk about more openly, for sure. The right gets really weird about Sweeney having big naturals too. Like, they look at her as a rebuke against woke because of it somehow. Like, yeah, she couldn't be woke because she's blonde and has big naturals. Like, crazy. It's like, you people just have a psychosexual fixation on blonde women with tits, and it's so boring. Like, just so boring. Oh my god. I always wonder if it's like to cover up something else. You know, like they're pretending to be into that because actually they're into shit that's way weirder, but maybe they're just boring. Papita. Okay, all right. You're little claws on me. Okay, okay, ma'am. Okay. Oh, we can actually probably turn off the pet camera. We can see Bandita in almost her full glory with her purple tail and all. She's just standing on me right now. Why are you standing on me, little dog? That can't be comfortable. Why don't you sit? Oh, all right, here, here. Oh my goodness, please stop. You okay? We just slotted into a spot, apparently. We just found where we needed to be. She seems happy about it. Her tail's wagging. I am glad to hear that I could help in expanding your palette. It's also important to look different laws for nudity and related stuff because it's different in different countries, states, and cities. Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. How much trouble you're gonna get into if you're in trouble, all that is something to factor in to all of this. It is, in fact, Bandita time. All right. I don't know why. I've been scrolling, and I am in a part of the chat where we're just talking about stuff, and I haven't found any questions. So if I want to answer one question before I leave, but I, for some reason, have not been able to get to a part of the chat where there's a question I have not already asked, or answered. Don't risk it if they're egging it on as the only option. They're not thinking about your safety, or they're only thinking about, they're not thinking about your pleasure either, depending on who does what. Oh yeah, that's also true, for sure. We gotta feel that in the 90s. Nice to have variety now. Yeah. On the internet, nobody can know you're a dog. True. Nobody knows I'm a dog. Well, you guys know that I'm a dog, but some people don't. That's my favorite thing to do is when I talk to my dog, I'll tell her, I'll be like, well, I'm a dog too, but I'm just a different kind of dog. And she just looks at me like, she has no idea what's going on. She's like, okay. I won't be here next week going to DomCon. Ooh, have fun for that. What's my favorite song right now? Fucking Sleep Token. What's my favorite one on the album right now? Okay, no, it's a tie. Okay, based on the number of times I listened to it, there's two that tied. One is Kill All Predators by Banshee. And the other one is called, I think it's Gethsemane. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's a Sleep Token song from the newest album. So that's what's on my memberships. Oh, good. Okay, here, let me get to... I asked this earlier, but I think it got missed, so I hope this isn't spamming. Oh, yes, I do remember seeing this, yes. Do you have any recommendations for relationship books that deal with codependency? Codependency specifically. Let me see. So I don't have any specific recommendations that I can think of by name right now, but in general, for that kind of thing, I would look for books on attachment, especially anxious attachment styles, and I would also look at books on emotionally mature relationships, kind of more the emotional side of adult relationships. But let me just I'm gonna let the puppy down off of the thing. Let me see if there's anything in here that I've got. Oh, there is actually. So if you've had previous experience with codependency, and you want to heal from that type of relationship dynamic, this book talks about codependency a little bit because it can be an element of toxic relationships. It's not the focus of the book, but it can be in there. So I would maybe look at this, but otherwise I don't have any specific recommendations for books on relationship codependency. But that is something that I would be interested in looking into. I think that is an area that's worth examining. I haven't checked it out. Kate Nash's Germ is really good. Oh, okay. Anyways, that is my thoughts for the day. All of my thoughts for the whole day. Complete. All right. Thank you all so much for being here on this beautiful Friday evening. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Stay safe, wear your sunscreen, drink some water, and I will talk to you all again very soon. Bye.